What up, y'all? This is Gimmick. I'm gonna do a little beginner's tutorial. The shit I wish I knew a long time ago. Some of the stuff I even learned recently. There's a lot of tutorials out there. There's a lot of guides out there, um, but there's a couple things that I've never seen in one of these guides that personally I found really helpful. Um, so yeah, we're gonna get into it. Uh, First thing is first. Let's talk about trading. Traders. You want to max these guys out. Um, and that's hard sometimes. It seems like a daunting task, but you definitely want to do this. If you really want to focus on one, focus on this guy. This is the man right here. Um, so what that means is you start at level 1 and they sell less stuff for a little more money. When you sell things you get in raids, you sell them to this guy. Uh, I could sell this. I'm not gonna, but I could. That would count towards your money spent as well. So everything you buy and everything you sell counts towards how much you spend. And I'm maxed here so you don't see it, but when you're not maxed, there'll be another little line right here, and it's going to tell you your target, how much you need to spend to get to the next level and what level you need to be. So unfortunately, it stops at like in the millions. It just says 1M, so maybe you need 1.5 million, but it's just going to say 1M. So don't freak out. That's one big thing that I was super confused about at first. Don't freak out when you hit the right level and you get a million and you still haven't leveled. It's because the number's kind of hidden. Just keep it going. But this guy, the Peacekeeper, there's a couple reasons I love this guy. First of all, this is the guy who sells the M4s. He sells it for cash. A lot of times these ones where you have to trade stuff, it's just such a hassle. And then you got to save a bunch of shit in your inventory, which, as you can see, mine is so fucking full. Which is a tip I was going to get to later, but I guess I might as well just mention it now. Don't do this shit. Use your gear. Don't hoard. I love looting games. I am a total loot hoarder. But especially in the beta right now, it ain't worth it. It's just going to get wiped. I'm going to lose a bunch of shit that I wish I would have used. Just use your stuff. Use your best stuff, or what you have the most fun with. I mean, I just think it's so much fun to go in with a pistol, go from rags to riches. But even if you do want to keep doing that, just sell everything. Sell everything you get. It'll help you level these guys. But this guy in particular, one of the reasons I love him too, he sells in dollars. So all the stuff you sell to these other people, look at this inventory space. It takes up inventory space. I try to keep it at a million. If I don't sell anything, or I just buy something super luxurious and expensive to keep it at a million, because I don't want this taking up more inventory space than it already does. But I got $32.6 thousand on the Peacekeeper, and that's essentially an equivalent of 3.5 million rubles. So, and it's only taking up one square, so that's great. And he sells. I mean, he's the guy you use the most. When you first start out, you're going to be buying these IFAKs. These are by far the best health kit for starting out until you can get the Grizzly. They count as bandages as well as healing, so you don't need to carry bandages and those little cheese squares. And they're not. They're the equivalent of around 6,000 rubles. But if you start selling stuff, that's not going to be a lot. That's going to be pretty doable. And as you can see, he sells clips and all that for money, not this trading bullshit. You gotta find filters. I'm saving up these filters to buy helmets. It's just annoying stuff that takes up room in your inventory. So level up your traders. Do it. An easy way to do it, if you got a surplus of money, is buy from one and sell the other. I leveled. I bought a bunch of IFAKs from Peacekeeper, sold them to the therapist. It helps level both of them up. Or even when I really leveled the therapist, I bought a bunch of morphine and sold it back for. Usually you get about half of what you buy it for back, but with morphine you actually get a little more than half, which is nice. So you get it it counts towards your money spent when you sell or when you buy it, and then it counts again when you sell it back. Good shit. Good shit. You're getting I mean, you're losing a little bit of money, but money is like, I don't know, money's easy to come by. Don't be worried you're gonna run out of money. You're not gonna run out of money. Get these leveled up. You can see here, I think this is the cheapest grizzly. The Peacekeeper sells it too, but it's a little more expensive. I always just like a rule of thumb. I know I've heard multiple things. I've heard that $1 is 133 rubles, but I kind of think it's more just like a straight 100. I'm not sure if that's right or not, but I always just in my mind add 2 zeros to the end of the dollar values. So this scope would be, 62,700 rubles, and this would be 100 or whatever. So the therapist sells the best grizzlies in town. I don't know what the fuck this is. I feel like I'm missing something here. Like maybe it's got a big inventory space, and then you can put it in your gamma or beta box, I don't know, something with this thing. I no idea. I haven't bought it yet. I should try it out. Anyway, so yeah, level these folks up. Never sell a fence. Avoid this fucking guy. You can try to buy stuff if you are getting those things that you need to trade. You can try to buy stuff from them. But honestly, I hear a lot of people have like bots, macros set up to instantly buy everything worthwhile. I've never seen anything worthwhile here. I think they're just instantly bought up, which is super lame. Hopefully they fix that. Find some way to block that from happening. But next thing. Here's a cool thing I never really saw in a tutorial video. If you have a bandage, one of those cheeses, a knife hack or whatever in your pocket, of course you risk losing it, so keep that in mind. But you can actually drag it to your hotbar here, and when you're in game, I can just hit 4, and that'll immediately start healing me. Sometimes it doesn't heal like the most logical spot, so it's more of a oh shit button than a never have to think about it. But when you're in game and you're actually healing, best thing to do if you have the time or you've gotten cover is actually go to your health tab and drag it to the spot that it's needed. You want to obviously do the spots that are bleeding first, and that's that. But for those things, I use the grizzly. But this is just kind of a nice little oh shit button. Might save your life in a pinch if you're in the middle of a firefight and you can't really go into the menu and specifically heal a certain part of your body. So yeah, that's helpful. All right, another thing, morphine or painkillers. Always carry one with you. If your leg gets broken or blown out, unless you have a grizzly, which you're not going to have at the early levels, you're going to be limping, and that's going to make getting out a nightmare. But if you down some painkillers or if you pop some morphine, it's going to, for a limited amount of time, let you be able to run like normal. But don't sprint until it'll say fresh wound here, until that goes away, because it could open up the wound again. So yeah, always grab morphine. I always keep just one morphine because it lasts like 8 minutes. And the grizzly does a pretty good job at repairing broken legs and stuff, but you're still not going to run quite as fast as if you pop morphine. I think it lasts 8 minutes. Painkillers less than that. I'm not sure the exact amount of time. I won't get into it. This is probably a whole nother video, but get the factory key. It's in the customs map. There's 1,000 guides on how to get there. The factory key is so useful because factory is by far the map you're going to play the most, unless you really like the slow kind of game. I do enjoy it, but there's a limit. Factory is just such a fun, fast-paced map that you're going to want the factory key because you can extract from 2 extra locations, which saves your ass a whole lot. Or when you're all loaded up, it keeps you from having to unnecessarily traverse the entire map to get to the probably camped main exit. It's great. Get that factory key. Now, before we get out of the menus here, another quick thing about trading. Skier, they're all worth leveling up. Peacekeeper, Skier, Prapor in particular. The Therapist obviously has some good stuff in the later levels. But Skier is probably the second most useful because he sells P.A.K.As and scav backpacks. Now, scav backpacks are super cheap, you can see. P.A.K.A's not as cheap, but still reasonable. These are things you're gonna want bare minimum in every round. You're not gonna want to go in with armor unless you're doing like a pistol run with nothing to lose or whatever. You want to get P.A.K.A. You want to get a backpack so you can fit guns. All the smaller backpacks than this, the only guns you're going to be able to fit in there are like Ketters and mini AKs. If you get a shotgun, a full-sized assault rifle, you're just not going to be able to fit it. You're going to leave a lot of loot behind, which is leaving a lot of money behind. So gear up with these. You got to level them up a bit. I'm not sure exactly what level, but I think it's like level 2, so it's not that hard to do. But yeah. Another good thing, which should be fairly obvious, but if you don't know it, you can play as a scav once per hour. You spawn as a scav. Scavs are friendly to you. Watch out for other players who are also spawning as scavs, because if they recognize you're another player, they might just shoot you in the head, steal your gear. If a player scav shoots you, or if you shoot another player scav, the other bot scavs are not gonna do anything. They're not gonna notice. And so it's almost guaranteed that if you come across another player scav, they're going to try to ice you. But once an hour, you can play as a scav. You spawn with loot. You don't have your gamma or your beta or alpha, whatever box you have. So if you die, you lose everything. But it's a great way if you're running low on loot or you just need some money to do this guy every hour, really. I mean, it's just free money, and there's nothing to lose. It's not like you're bringing anything in there. In fact, let's do a scav run right now. Use this puppy up. Use this old boy up. Look at him. He's going duck hunting. Got a duck hunter in the wrong place at the wrong time. Finds himself in a Russian factory. Let's see how this puppy does. All right. So, oh, I heard some footsteps. Another thing you want to do. Ooh, is that a player? Oh, that seems like a player. That might have been a little presumptuous, but I ain't taking chances. Now all the scavs are going to be pissed at me. If you try to attack a scav, they're going to attack you back. Look at that. Look at this little luxury. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. What was I saying? Oh, yes. If you loot scavs, loot their pockets, loot their bags, it may seem useless, like they're just gonna have a bunch of crap on them, but actually they spawn a lot of food, and you're gonna want to eat that immediately. It's gonna level up your metabolism, and when your metabolism is maxed, you're not going to lose XP on skills. If you don't use a weapon for a while, it's actually going down. Your XP is going down on that weapon. So you want to get your metabolism up so that you don't forget that. Super important. Eat all the food, or if you have, if you just got your account and you got a bunch of food in your inventory, don't sell it right away. That's what I used to do. Bring it in like one at a time. Eat it at the beginning of the round. It's gonna be worth it in the long run, even though that's gonna take fucking forever to level up. Important metabolism. Ooh, look at this. PSU. See that sells for a good amount of money, and I wouldn't have found it if I didn't loot this old boy. Now this is a beginner's guide. I'm not really gonna get into like map tactics, but like factory, especially since it's just a map you're gonna be playing over and over again. There's so many little things you want to know, so many little nooks and spots you want to learn to check, or spots that you want to be able to get in that have better views. Just the way the scavs spawn, it's random, but it's fairly predictable, so it's really useful to know like where the spawn concentration is, because they will respawn at around 10 minutes. Oh, somebody's been here. Ooh, I feel like I hear somebody. The sound is a little fucked up in the game right now, so sometimes I get unnecessarily spooked. You know what? Nothing to lose. YOLO this shit. Oh, nobody. Alright, let's close this. Here, little side tip here. This safe right here. You want to loot safes. You want to collect. There's a lot of things, like I said, it's kind of a pain, but there's certain things that you need to trade to get items, and one of the big things is gold chains. They spawn in safes. No luck here. But they'll also spawn in here sometimes. These file cabinets, you can actually loot all 8 of these, but people are gonna be able to hear you from pretty far away looting those, and they're gonna know exactly where you are. I've actually looted a gold chain in these jackets too. If you have a buddy, especially to watch your back, or if you're in here, just close the door so it's kind of an alarm if you hear the door open or get breached. You turn around, and you know, you can get a lot of good stuff, a lot of useful stuff. I hear a bad boy. Now I think I'm just going to be automatically aggro to scavs because I was mean to one of them. Oh, look, perfect little thing for my AK here. Speaking of which, why am I not using this? To go full auto, hit B, pop. It's hard to tell. When he flicks up, that means it's full auto. Flick down, semi-auto. You can check your gun here. You kind of learn. See, this is full auto. You know, I don't know what else to tell you other than just kind of when you're in full auto, take a look and you'll get to know where that little knob is, or latch is on the side of the AK. And yeah, the worst thing in the world is forgetting to go into full auto, seeing a guy pressing and it shoots once, and you are dead. But yeah, like I said, I'll do another video about like more tactical stuff, a little more advanced stuff, but sticking with the beginner stuff. Let me think if there's anything else. Gotta think. Here's something. When you're looting, go prone, because while scavs may see you real easy, players will often mistake you as a deadman. These black rocks are worth about 10k, so always switch out your vest for these. But you can see here that I don't have a scav backpack. I didn't have a choice because this is a scav round, but I can't loot this Saiga. So I think this actually sells for more than the Saiga. I'm not sure, but that's the problem. That's the prob, Bob. And last thing on this round, at least here, just don't get greedy. You know, I'm at the exit here. I could roam around looking for more, but I can't really fit that much more. Just get out with the money you have, especially at the beginning. I mean, I could be a little more brave because I've got way too much stuff. I'm actually kind of looking forward to losing it. But you know, don't be greedy. Don't just loot in the middle of a firefight. Get out when you got a good amount of stuff, and that's gonna help you build your arsenal really quick. Pretty good round, man. 11.7k for a scav round. That's a lot higher than normal. I don't know what I did right, but I must just be good at this game. One little tip on scav rounds. Once you hit next here, you're not going to, if you still have stuff on your body, you're not going to be able to get it back. So make sure, this is one of the other problems with having a full inventory, make sure you put everything that you're going to want, which is essentially everything you can fit, because you can just sell it. Make sure you fit it all in the deal here. Actually, I gotta do this. Oh yeah, you can leave stuff in containers and put it there. A little way to save some space. Gets a little annoying sometimes, but you know what it is. So I can't fit this pack and I have packas, so I don't really need it. But if I had more room, I could put it in there and just sell it, and then I get a 10k right off the bat there. Next thing here is you want to ensure your items that you spent money on. Maybe if you've modded something out, ensure it. If somebody doesn't pick it up, then see if I go here, bop. So this is the insurance menu. Say I lose my sweet Saiga here, and it's not insured at the moment. But if nobody picks it up and I insure it, see, Prapor here has a minimum payment of 1,000, so I got to go to therapist. Or actually, let's see here. If I insure all of this, am I going to get to 1,000 on Prapor? Oh yeah, there we go. So if I insure this, nobody picks it up, The next day, you'll get it back in your mail. But you only have about 24 hours to pick it up. Not about. You have 24 hours to pick it up. So uh, even if you log in for like 5 minutes that day, sometimes it's worth it just to get all the shit you lost. And I get so much back, especially these P.A.C.As. I mean, it's like I insure them not because like they're so hard to get, but it's cheaper to insure it and then just get it back than continually buying 16.9K P.A.C.as because I almost always get them back because they take up so much inventory space. Um, yeah, so a lot of times if you're with a buddy and your buddy goes down, I'll loot his gun and then just chuck it into a bush. Nobody can find it, and the next day he'll get it back. So super super useful. It's a little money up front, but it saves you money in the long run, for sure. All right, I can go on and on and on, and I guess I just make some mo vids about it. But there's so much stuff. This game's a lot deeper than maybe it seems, or maybe it. I guess it seems deep right off the bat. It seems just confusing as hell right off the bat. But there's so much more. But those are things that helped me. I would have loved to know day one. I would have been able to immediately start leveling those, concentrating on leveling those vendors. Soon there's going to be vendor missions and stuff. There's going to be a whole lot more depth to this. So there's going to be even more to do. But leveling those vendors is really what kind of got me hooked in the initial game. That little anything that you can get stronger or level up in, little RPG elements or whatever. It's always super fun. And sometimes it's like, why am I collecting all this gear? It's just the same thing over and over. Well, you're collecting it to make money. Sell it. You get more money. Then, like if I just decided I'm sick of this full inventory and I sold half of the inventory, the modded guns and everything, it'd be fine because, I have plenty of money to buy it back. I don't really need it. And like I said, this is beta. This could wipe tomorrow and I'd lose all this shit that I didn't take out and use because I was busy with, going out with a hatchet. Just use your shit. Get a little padding. Get some of these shotguns. They're easy and they don't take up a lot of space. Get, some of these shotguns so that you always have a backup. If a buddy gets on, then, you have a gun to roll with. But save up and stuff, but then just use it. Use it, sell it, get going, go hard, escape from Tarkov, etc., etc. All right, one last thing real quick. I had actually finished this, but then I realized this is something you really need to know right off the bat. Modding guns. There's two ways to do it. I don't need to go into it. You're smart enough. You're smart enough to figure it out. But you could either, right click, hit modding, and then you can do it from here. You can mod whatever you need to do. I don't really have things specifically for this because, like I said, my inventory space is fucked. But you can do it like that. That's fine. But easier way to do it, just double click on it. You can see all the slots here, which are just the same thing. You just drag and drop. Pretty easy. And while I'm here, actually one thing, selling guns to Peacekeeper. You might think you can't do it. He doesn't take my gun. Why doesn't he take my gun? He doesn't like my gun. I got to sell it to Prapor and fill up my inventory with all these rubles. No, you don't have to. All you need to do is take the bullet out of the chamber, pop, and now you can sell this gun to the Peacekeeper for good old American dollars that are not going to take up your entire inventory with cash. I don't know why, they chose this. They thought it was a good, in Tarkov nobody has a bank account. I guess that makes sense because, we're escaping. We're presumably there against our will and probably don't have a registered bank account. But I don't know. It's kind of annoying. I'd like just like a little number down here. That would do just fine. But that's not how it is. So take the bullet out of the chamber, pop. You can sell this for good old American dollars, and you're good. But yeah, modding guns is like the crown jewel of this game. One of the reasons I have all these guns and I just can't bring myself to sell them is because they're all fully modded out. I think I've never bought an M4. I've got all these M4s off other players, and it's just like, do I just sell that? But like, oh, it would be so fun to use. It would cost so much to actually build this, and I got it for free. Why would I sell it? you know, that's my predicament. But modding guns is so much fun. It's a little confusing at first, but you know, that's for another day. Anyway, just thought I'd mention that mod yo guns. There's some cheap scopes. This guy right here, Skier sells it. This is like $3,500. You're gonna be buying a whole lot of these at first. So yeah, that's what I gotta say. Some people take their whole gun apart and they sell all the parts. You make a little more money, but you know, I ain't got time for that. I got no time for that. I do take the flashlights out though. Whenever a gun spawns with a flashlight, like on your scav round, I take that out. Sell that to Skier. Sell that to my good old American man. And yeah. Anyway, cool. Good luck. Good luck in life. I drank a little more since I was recording last, so I was a little more talkative, a little more likable. Maybe that's the key to being a good YouTuber, is drinking. I'll have to think about that. But yeah, I'll make more of these. I'll make more of these probably, even though, you know, this is video number 1 on this channel, so maybe this will be helpful for all 2 of you that'll watch this. But maybe one day when this game blows up, you know, people could come back and say, thank you, Gimmick. You changed my life. You're the best part of my life. You're the dad I never had, the brother I never had, the mom I never had. And you know what? I'm happy to help. Happy to help.